Okay, let's see if this starts up here. There it is. Okay, how are ya? I got Sebastian Garcia and Chris Hurley chomping at the bit. They're waiting to get in the door. Let me press a couple of buttons here so it doesn't slow me down. I think that's one of them. Yep, that's good. And we got a couple people already. Good. Let's give them a minute to join in. It's a nice autumn weekend, so maybe they'll show up. Maybe they won't. I don't know. We're just going to do this without them. Oh, here they come. Here's Shay Hoffmaster, Marty Poles, Christine. Christine, my email's up here. Send me your phone number if you needed a call, or just send me an email. Either way works pretty well. Okay, today we're going to talk about basic equipment. Let me first talk about this book over here. We've got the complete Lincoln Cent Encyclopedia. Remember, there will be a quiz, and whoever gets it right first, this is what they're going to get. So that's a start. I always hand out information. Everybody else hands out, coins and stuff. This could be more valuable than a coin because it can take, your 5-cent nickel into, $15 fine. So we'll look at that. Just digging his con on in, his Cleveland coin collectors, Ezekiel. Yeah, we're starting to get in. It still says one watching. Well, I'm not worried about that. Okay, let's get going. Basic equipment. You want to go through these coins. You got that big jar of change. You want to pick through them. Well, information is the primary thing. But aside from information, let's say I already know everything. Let's get that out of the way. You got a pile of stuff to pick through. When you get older, it gets harder to see. So probably the most basic piece of equipment is a magnifying glass. You can pick out the dates, look at stuff. If you're looking for varieties and errors, a magnifying glass will help you with some of them. WAMs, for example, things that don't require you to get inside the letter D. Okay, now if you're going to get a magnifying glass, something like this, it's plastic, it's cheap. I've probably got it at Walmart for $1 or $2 or the dollar store. They work. Okay, you get a little spot in here where it's a greater magnification. Let's see if I can show that. You can see that, well, it's kind of hard. You can see the difference in magnification. It gives you a little bit of an edge. And they're handy. Now, this one, the cheap ones, they've got plastic lenses. They're acrylic. And that's all well and good. They don't melt. They don't stain. But they do take up scratches pretty easily. So something like this, a $2 item, it's not going to last forever. There are glass magnifiers out there. Glass lenses, they got them on stands. They got them on, these big arms. So you can have it mounted to your desk. And they're nice. No question about it. These little ones, a couple of bucks to get you started, but you want to protect that, store it in a drawer or something. Getting into greater magnification, I think there is no single piece of equipment better than a simple 10x loop. Okay, they fold up real easy, so you're protecting the glass. They are glass lenses on these. They got a little hook right here on the end, so you can attach a lanyard and you carry it around your neck. I got to pick up some lanyards. If all you had was a loop, you'd have a tremendous advantage over somebody just going through them and picking up the change by hand. This is probably the most indispensable piece of equipment. Chris Hurley says, I use an iPhone and misspellings always occur. Oh, your iPhones. They've got cameras on there, which are fantastic nowadays. This is what's getting all this, the YouTube groups and the Facebook groups and all the selling online makes it more possible because the digital technology has come so far in the last just 5 years. But anyway, back in the day, the 10x loop was probably the best thing out there, and they were pretty expensive back then. I got some others out here, different magnification, but the 10x is a standard. If you don't have one of those, get to hunting. I've got some available. Okay, next we want to measure these coins. All right, we've got something as simple as a tape, well, not a tape measure, just a ruler. And they're plastic, they're metal, this one's metal. They can be handy if you want to check and get a good idea, is this the right diameter? Okay, you get coins that'll be broad struck, off center. Being able to quantify how far off center, how much it is enlarged by being broad struck is pretty handy. Quantification starts to become an issue when you get into measuring things. Now, let's watch this over here. I'm going to put this on the scope because sometimes, I mean, you get an inch, an eighth of an inch, maybe a millimeter measurement on this. I'm going to switch over to the scope here real quick. There we go. All right. I want to measure something on this. So I've got this little slide ding dong here. Just a thin piece of plastic. I'm trying to find these because there can't be more than $1. I mean, come on. It's a piece of printed plastic, but it's very finely printed. And on this you have these scales. If I can get that into the camera. All right. That's 5 millimeters from the axis. So you have a pointy stick. Oh, and don't forget the pointy stick. This is probably one of the key tools when you're pointing things out. You've got the center axis here. Each one of these lines is a millimeter. 1, 2, 3 over here at the light. Another one there. The taller one is a 5 millimeter. So as you get into the gradients down below, that's a tenth of a millimeter going across here. This is going to let you really measure. You know, is this correct? Is this the correct width of his eyeball? You know, is the date or the words correct? Real handy. Now, a lot of these digital cameras will come with one of these. I'm trying to get some because if you have, you know, the loop and you want to measure something pretty tight, these come in pretty darn handy. Get into weights and measures of what we are all about. Let me look over here. Planchet sizes, absolutely. You want to measure the diameter of a planchet. As Maury Veal has joined us. Oldies and goodies. Corner card hobbyist. Man, thumbs up for the teacher for Misfit. Okay. Measuring distances. I've lost my page here. Oh, there we go. Measuring distances is probably one of the key aspects to seeing if the planchet is correct. Another way is to measure, well, what's it weigh? Let me turn this off so it doesn't make any noise. Okay. See if we can get the light on there just right. Bring it down. Now these digital scales are out there and they're pretty handy. I mean, you can get accurate to a 100th of a gram. And some of these coins, I got so much stuff here lined up to show you. How's it? Maybe I need to tilt it. Alrighty. Okay. As you get into different die varieties and different errors, you're going to find some coins aren't what you expect them to be. Okay, you got 39 pounds. Okay. Give me a minute here. Mode, grams. Now we got it. These little scales are real handy, but they got a lot of different features for, just a few bucks. 95% copper coins come in at 3.11 grams. Now there's a little bit of variance in there, a couple of percent. So 3.14, 3.09. That's all in the range of tolerances. These zincs come in at 2.5. Okay, 2.52. That's right on. If you got a zinc coin and it weighs 3.1, you got a problem over there. But this will, let's say you got 1982s and you want to discern the difference between the coppers and the zincs. You should have no problem there. Okay, this one is zinc. I'm reading 252 grams. Take that off, but it's 0. And this one is 3.03. Well, that doesn't really make sense, does it? Okay, you got to realize there is somewhere. This one is 1974. Over time, just the wear will remove some of the copper, some of the weight from some of these coins. Here's an older quarter. Just got a bunch of pocket change here. It's pretty darn close. And with the accuracy on these digital scales, you can decide, yeah, is it worn? It's taken off a tenth of a gram, or is it something wrong with it? This is the weight of a Mexican centavo or something. Every now and then, the United States mints coins for other countries, and so there are some coins out there that are on the wrong planchet. Now these scales are pretty simple to use, unless you're born in the 60s. Okay, you turn it on, turn it off. it all zeroes out when you turn it off. You got a mode button. And mode, it's going to be over in this little slot here. And that's going to be tough to get into. Let's find it. Focus. Are you gonna? It's not gonna work with me. Okay, well you get the mode, and that'll tell you grams or carats or dram weights or whatever that other one is on this. I primarily set it on grams because that's all I need to work with. All right, there we go. But before you measure something, let it sit for a bit, and you want to have a flat surface. If this thing is angled, it's going to change the reading. Of course, I can't quite see the read. How am I going to make that work? See, I didn't really experiment with the thing turned on when I was setting up for the class. Okay, you get a coin in a holder. Alrighty. Let's say we got. I need one without. That's what I want. Give me a flip. I'll be right with you. Where's my flips? I get a coin in a holder, and I want to measure that holder beforehand. What do you got? 2.33 grams. And over here, yeah, this will work just right. I want to measure this guy with the holder in place. So I got 2.33 with the flip. I'm going to hit the tare button. And that'll take it back out to 0. Now these holders are pretty darn consistent. So I can take this guy off. It'll give me a negative reading. So when I put this back on, this will measure now just the weight of the cent because the weight of the flip has been tared, been removed already, been accounted for. So now that this guy comes in at 2.91. Well, it's in very good condition, so that explains why the weight is different. But keep these on a flat, level surface, preferably clean. You can put a cushion under there, like say an old towel, you know, because just a pad, whatever you're on, that can change your reading because if this thing's at an angle, it's going to give you a skewed reading. Now, when you get these things first in, they've got a plastic film across here, and that's great. As long as you have the tare in place, you can leave the plastic film. I've seen people put down, you know, a sheet of paper because they want to protect this surface. Okay, now put that piece of paper in, but everything you put on here is going to be weighed. These things are accurate to, I mean, a grain of rice. But if I put the tare on there, it's 0. Now I can weigh my coin. 3.07. I think that's what it was before. It's at 74 again. But get to trying these things. Get to using them. They're real simple. Keep it protected. These have protective covers. Put it in a drawer. Do what you have to do. And always turn it off. And you'll get many years of service out of these little things. But if you want to measure your 1982s, so you can determine, you know, small date, large date versus copper and zinc, and look for that elusive 82D copper. Something like this is indispensable. Let me get this stuff out of the way for a moment. I get stuff going. You don't want to see my desk over here. God, it is a nightmare. Okay, but you have the loop is the best thing out there. There we go. I need more table space. That's what it comes down to, really. You know, I end up filling one table with junk. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, we have those cameras we're talking about. You're looking at one, of course, right up here. And they're slick as can be. This is the, well, you can see it in the corner here. Logitech. This is like 50 bucks. It does all kinds of things. Here's the here's that desk back there. Oh, so you can't use that desk. It's just, go ahead with it. It's covered. But they're handy. Digital technology has exploded in the past few years. You've got these microscopes with wires everywhere. All right, that's the best we're going to get. Okay, if the loop is not good enough, these little guys come in some kind of handy. You get them on Amazon. 25, 30 bucks, you can get a pretty decent one. This is a 1000X. This replaces my old one, which is here. That's an old VHO. And it did the job pretty well, pretty decent. You know, in the absence of anything else, if all I have is a loop, this really brings it up close. Not always same weight. Matt Senior. I kind of had fun with Axiom 4 hammer experiment. We've been chatting over in the Coin Up Facebook. The next step up from these loops, let me get this. I got the wire taped up so it doesn't pop off, but the tape is coming off. All right, more tape. You accumulate stuff when you do this. And sometimes you gotta make do with what you got. There we go. Okay. Step up and move. You got a digital camera. A lot of these fancy phones. You get the iPhone. You get those Androids. I finally got stepped up on one that used to flip close, and I use that for 20 years. These will give you close-ups like you've never seen before. What do I got on there? A dime. I'm going to switch over so we can see this scope up close. There you go. This is that dime. There we go. Roswell down. Came out of my pocket change. But if you want to get down close and tight, these babies, you're talking 30 bucks. Now, you do have to have a computer. All right. Some of these hook into the phones. I don't really know how my phone works, so I'm not even going to try to show that. But for 25, 30 bucks, dude, they're insanely awesome. The power on these things and the quality of the image. Let's find the date here. Here we go, 2005. That was a very good year. And I can scroll in close. And let's see if we can see inside the letters. There we go. You see these, I show them off all the time. Now look, we've got some mechanical doubling going on here. But you can see inside the D of In God We Trust. If I can get the, oh, there. Got it. All right. Now you can start to pick out little details. Look at the bottom of the D. Oh my, when you're zoomed in this far, the tiniest little nudge shoves it all the way across the room. And there's my pointy stick inside that D. No, I'm just not ready for this one. There we go. And you see this little bit of almost a secondary shadow coming off the bottom of these. Well, that's a dye deterioration is all you have on this. Okay, I'm failing on this experiment. I'm not ready for it. Let's see if I can get this lined up. Turn it. Now it should be straight. See, my view looking at this is backwards from what you see. Okay, there you go. For the small investment, this is well worth it if you want to get involved in dye varieties. These will pick them out. These USB scopes will help you to verify exactly which one you have, because they're going to pick out the those little dye markers, right? The little scratches from dye polishing, or little dye gouges. Interesting thing about these, if they have this axial support where it keeps the camera perpendicular, it's going to be a whole lot easier on you than these the ball and knuckle. Let me open this up. Okay, this is more like a shoulder. Okay, these you've got, well, an infinite number of angles is what you have here. It's not always perfectly perpendicular. So you get it set up, and then you can build something like, say, what do they call these? An easel. This is just a piece of styrofoam with some cardboard taped on, but it's pretty handy. So I can get the angle correct, and now I've got a perpendicular line from the camera to the coin placed on the easel. Don't be afraid to experiment and make your own tools. I mean, if you got a razor cutter and some foam and some glue, you can make all sorts of things. But these USBs they are indispensable. Let me catch up on chat for just a moment here. Make sure you don't carry one in your car. baggies. Here's a scale I got from you. As Jonathan Raymond, he picked up some scales for the kids. Police would only find zinc residue. I'm just missing out on the chat here. I'm going to stop and just chat for a while. That's a whole lot easier. So Chris Hurley, yes, that was a USB camera. Both of these are USBs. The one with the fancy stand, I think it was $35 shipped. That's a 1000X. The old one, that was a 400X. That's a VHO Discovery. It does a decent job. If you don't have one, it's a whole lot better than nothing. But the resolution difference between the two is night and day. Zinc rod. But loops are really hard for me to use without good lighting. Yes, I mentioned that. The magnifiers are great. You've got a wide field of view. As the light goes in from what you're looking at, it's going to be dispersed, which is, what the magnification aspect is. You're looking at a, same area, but it covers a small amount of the coin. The light is dispersed. So the thicker the lens and the higher the power, the more light is going to be dispersed. So if I look at the same coin with a loupe, it's going to be dimmer than with a magnifying glass. If I use a more powerful loupe, well, it gets to a point, extra lighting is handy. There we go. There is nothing wrong with a handy desk lamp. These are what, $7, $10 up at the hardware store? Put a flex arm in there. You can zoom right in. Let's put it on that dime. Wow, what is all this junk in the way? I am blind over here. Okay. Oh, that is the dime. There you go. And here's that dime without the extra light. But these have a little bit of light already built in. They've got LEDs. And I can turn those off. I can turn them up. I can turn them down. Very bright. Kind of medium bright. But the software is going to change how that light is seen when you're looking at the image on the screen. Now I'll go up on the light here. Explain what I'm talking about. There's the focus. So I can increase the light, and it's just a flash is all you're going to see, because the software is then going to account for the difference in the brightness. All right, that's without the light at all on the LEDs. Add the outside camera, and I've got a different look. It's great to use the light that's built into the scope, but sometimes you want a different angle on the scope. It comes straight down. Add an outside light, and I can change my angle. And that's pretty handy if I want to see the side of an object. Okay, tilting is all well and good, but if I add an outside light source, that's going to change what I'm seeing and how I'm seeing it. And now we'll kill that. No light. And the LEDs. Handy. These little flexible desk lamps are in. I got one over here. I got this one. I got one over on the other table. Good light is really handy. Also, change the light bulbs. If you're having trouble with a fluorescence, switch over to what do they call them? Incandescents. I had an extra one here. Well, it's either run off or buried. But different coins will take different light with different results. Here's a cent beside a dime. And of course, it's going to change the way you get to see it. As long as you can pick out the details, you're probably going to be pretty good. All right. But you put a fluorescent on there. That's a compact fluorescent. And what's that going to do to that cent? Let me back that off and show you. Okay, right now you're with the LEDs that are built in. That's probably pretty good. There's old Abe. I take off the LED and go to fluorescent. And there's a different appearance here. Changes the contrast. Yeah, a little blow. Get rid of some of that lint. If you want to show the color, LED is not the best. It's typically a more narrow wavelength of light coming through. fluorescent is good. I've got a, oh, I must have changed that one. I thought I had a incandescent on the ceiling. Well, anyway, play with it. More than anything else, just the experimentation is going to show you what works for your area. Maybe your walls are dark, maybe your walls are light. Your ceiling light is over there instead of right here. How you light up what you're looking for is going to change the way it looks for you. Let me read up here. Yeah, the USB he has works great. Yeah, Maury Veal, he picked up the same one off of Amazon. I keep putting up the link, but they don't carry them anymore. I keep saying out of stock. Well, all right. Like I say, this is 1000X, and it's got just beautiful resolution. I'm probably going to stick with that for a while. The old Viho was good, but it was time for an upgrade for the things I wanted to do with it. Laura Day does not have a computer. This is a, I got a Walmart computer, about 300 bucks. Now, if you can pick stuff out with a loop, find some, easy to find DDRs, you can get a piece on those. And you can fund the whole project yourself. Just sort through pennies. Hey, Candy, you have it on no color because it looks better that way. And that was the compact fluorescent, I think, that you said it looked better. My scope is becoming all pixelated. I just scrolled up and I lost it. You may need to reinstall the software that came with your scope. Also try AmScope. You can just go to Google and type in AmScope, and it'll pull up a free download for you. What software you use can change the results for these photos. Just Diggin says, a lot of scopes from what I've seen will work on Android. Oh, yeah. I got this little cord that came with this thing. That's not it. So you can plug it in. Here it is. You can plug that baby into a phone. If you do get one of these digital cameras, get the USB to the little phone adapter. Because this, well, I pull it out, but I'll use the other one. This plugs into USB. Okay, that's great for laptops, but if I want to hook it into a phone, I got to go from USB, which looks like that, into the phone, which is this tiny little tiny ding dong. Looks like, kind of angled on two ends. And I haven't tried it on my phone because, let's face it, I don't know how the thing turns on. I got the phone in my drawer, it works just fine. But there's some good scopes out there. Keep an eye on them. AmScope is a pretty good one. This was just a generic, China Enterprise. It's made in China. They make it cheap. They send it out, and it does the job. Don't be afraid of the cheap stuff because these loops are $2-3 bucks. Well, if I buy the adapter, mine came with an adapter. Chris Hurley says, didn't think to check when I purchased. Got one from Pluggable Technologies. It's okay, but need more magnification for RPMs. Alrighty. 1000X seems to be the point at which the RPMs start to jump right out. Having a hard time with zoom and lighting. My computer bugs out. I'm thinking this is probably your video card. I don't know how old your computer is, but the video adapter in the laptop or in the computer may be what's slowing it down. Try different software. A lot of these USBs will have software that comes with it, and it's usually pretty good. AmScope is software out there. Just do a search and try that out. What happened to my picture here? Oh, I killed the light. Let me put that back in. Telescope adapters. Actually, I was going to donate mine to CoinOp to give away to have an iPhone. I put in the chat, but I'm not a mod. Now you can put it in the chat, Lee Hill. Lee Hill is now moderated for your channel. There we go. Mark Connor, I just bought one off of Amazon, just like yours, for $22. Yeah, they do take a little while to come in. But once they do, man, a whole new world opens up. You can take photos, post them online. They require very little cropping. There's an app for your phone that might make it easy. It's called Lookzee, L-O-O-K. Let me try L-O-K-Z-E-E. Just Google that. And it's a neat app. It'll take a picture of a coin. It'll rotate it. It'll crop it. So you're just looking at the coin instead of, this big area and the coin's this big. It'll tell you what it is. And in a lot of cases, it'll tell you what it's worth. Give you a price range for it. And that's a marvelous development. That's Tim Rathjen up in Washington State. He's got the coin and stamp place, or the stamp and coin place. And that's a project he's been working on for quite a while. If you get to see that on YouTube, Tim Rathjen, look him up. He's in the, down below, let me move this over. Down below, down here, you've got a list of video and live streams. And I've got him in that list, so you can pull that up and see what that Lookzee does. Has a few bugs. That's why it's in beta testing. And give that time. It's going to be a powerful thing once it gets rolling. Yep, it's in beta. Okay, let's look at handling. What happened to this? Let's look at handling coins on a table. Okay, you got the coins and they're sliding around a table. Some of these tables, this is a Formica top. It's a good solid desk. Got the steel sides and stuff, and it's fairly smooth. Now, a rougher surface like an oak table. The one in the other room here is that's pine. The one in the kitchen, that's oak, and it's a bit more rough. These rough surfaces aren't doing you any favors on your coins as you slide them around. Okay, you got some high dollar coins. Let's try to protect that surface. Just an old cloth is going to save you a whole lot of trouble. This was, God, I hope that wasn't a shirt. Might have been my brother's shirt. He wears weird clothing. Okay, go with cotton. You're going to find cotton fibers are a whole lot softer than any synthetics. All right, so you set your coin down. Where am I here? You can set your coin down, you can look at it, you can flip it over, but you're not rubbing that coin across a hard surface. With my center, right there. There you go. And you're going to find over time that this, if you put down a cloth, man, it's going to be black. Just terrible. I had one. Ooh. Terribly black. Especially if you drop it on my floor. Okay. Here's an old piece of terry cloth. This is a, cotton dishcloth. And they do the job just fine. Give you lots of cushioning. And I put these down on my sortie table in the next room. And, dude, they just turn black. Throw them out. I didn't even bother to wash them. They're real easy to work with. But this will protect the coin from whatever's on that table. Use these things clean. You can launder them if you want to. You can get disposable and just, use them until they're nasty and then get rid of them and start over. But we'll want to protect that coin at every stage, from when it comes in the door to when, you do something else with it, be it move it back out the door. So we're going to get into some gloves, because handling that coin is as important as what you're handling it on. So protect the coin from the table. If you have these BU proof, anything really valuable, or somebody else's coins, let's try to get some gloves on. Now the cottons are good. You can see the difference here in the color, perhaps. This is brand new, unused. I've used this several times. These cotton gloves can be washed, but after a point, just let's try to throw that out. Now I got cotton gloves and they work, but well, they're just too darn small. There's no way I'm going to get my fat fingers in there. This is made by starving people. That's not a finger. Look at this. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. They're going to get upset if I give you the bird on the camera. So I cut the fingers off because the spread in the thumb and the finger is just not suitable for, I got a pretty good hand and that does not stretch enough. Cotton's good. There are, where are they? Vinyl gloves. Real handy. These are $5, $6 at Walmart. And we're going to get in and take a look. If you get the latex gloves, I showed this in the last night. Okay, powder free is what you're looking for. They'll put cornstarch or baby powder, which is mostly cornstarch, inside the gloves. Makes it easier to slip on. but that cornstarch is going to get all of your coins. So go with a powder-free. Look for that in particular if you get the latex gloves. And these are handy. They're disposable. You get a whole bunch of them. They're cheap. Put it on, strip it off, you're done. It's better than nothing. And now it's, you know, between, do you like the cotton or do you like the latex? I think if you're going to be wearing the gloves for a long time, you're going to prefer the cotton because it breathes. You start wearing those latex for a couple hours at a time, your hands get soggy just from sweat, and you know your skin is, they're gross. For short stints of latex, for longer ones, you're gonna love the cotton. Make that part of your collection, your hoard. Will powder-free latex gloves hurt uncirculated coins? No. Latex is fairly inert. Excuse me. They get it from a rubber tree. They actually bleed the tree. It's a sap that runs up that tree. Indonesian, a lot of sources for that. There are artificial gloves, artificial rubber. It's called nitrile, and I've got some somewhere. Let me take 1 minute and grab some. I didn't expect this one to come on. Here we go. Now the benefit of that latex is it makes a thin film, whereas nitrile, it tends to be thick and gaudy. Yeah, they're good. They're inert. They're not going to touch your, you know, it's not going to screw up your coins. But the thickness of these, you can't grab a coin effectively. But they will protect your fingers or your coins from your fingers. But you got no tactile dexterity on these. You can barely grab those coins. Some people don't like to wear gloves at all because you can't pick up these coins. There you go. Now, yeah, it's handy. It's useful. It's not going to, you know, contaminate the coin, but I can't handle this and get anything done. So they're good. They're active grips. They're stiff. They'll protect your hands from acid, but they're just not appropriate for what we need here. Let me set that down. We want to be able to get to the coin and handle it. And the cotton comes in handy here. Where'd that other one go? Yeah, right there. Cotton stretches so it stays snug to your fingers. Latex stretches, stays snug. I can pick up car keys with this. There you go. I can pick it up. I can turn it over, flip it, take a look. I can take this hair and pick that up. Can you see that? Well, no matter. I don't know where that came from. It's certainly not from me. All right, so we're protecting the coin at every step. From the surface it's on. If it's a smooth surface, you're good. If it's not, put down a pad, be it a, you know, a cotton cloth or a cotton t-shirt. Don't ever throw it there. Don't throw nothing out, ever. Man, it's all handy. There we go. You can launder these things. They're reusable. You know, at some point, textiles are pretty inexpensive. Try it out. But these are maybe $1, and that's going to last a long time. You can take a pair of scissors to them, cut them up, and just use, you know, a small area depending on what your particular need is. This is the best part of a whole t-shirt. A really hideous shirt. I'm sure my brother wore it. There we go. But if you have a pad down, now you've got a thickness and your scale can be off. Let me show you this. If I can get this thing open, I got an edge. There we go. Okay, on a flat surface. We'll turn it on. Let it zero. Put that penny on there. 2.5, it's right on. Let's do that same thing. And we'll do it at an angle. So I'll get a pad on one side. Now, this is a, you know, I've got this baby at a 10-degree angle, so it's a bit more extreme. We'll get that in there. Now, there's nothing on here I've got a reading, so let's zero that out. Good. We'll put that same penny on at an angle. And what does it say? Well, it's about the same. It never works when you try to show somebody. You ever take your car to the shop? It's making a noise, and it ain't making no noise at the shop. But you drive away, clunk, 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 clunk. All right. That's true. Yeah, a greater angle. Let me hit the tear again. And the angle will change your reading, so keep that flat. What do we got? 2.45. The higher the angle, the more distortion you'll have on your reading. So if you're using a scale, nothing on the surface. But if you want to have something on the surface, oh, by all means, protect it. But the two together don't quite work. I was trying to post email address to request Looksee app, but the YouTube crashed twice when I tried to post. Buy a new computer. That's the answer. James Owen says, these scales are great. I bought 2 from Cat. True story. Says Laura. Where's Laura? Oh, the car thing? Yeah. My truck crapped out about a year ago. You know, I just got the diner going. And no truck. Jeez. It's 40 miles away, this place. And there's that penny. Now, we've got to store this stuff. We got equipment for storage. Now, you can buy all kinds of stuff. There's no limit to what you can buy. You got the boxes, you know, they're the pretty red ones. You got notebooks and binders and pages. The best is whatever you like. The cheapest is free, and there's nothing wrong with free stuff. Okay, priority mail, small flat rate box, fold it up. There you go. You get these up at the post office. They don't cost nothing, right? Fold it. It's got the little glue strip. You peel the strip off. You seal it shut. You take a razor blade and you cut the top off. And you can store all kinds of stuff in. Oh, I got one here. You can store all kinds of stuff in there. Here we got stuff that's getting ready to sell. I put a divider in there. Stick it up with some tape. 2 inches across on each side. I can fit, you know, 50 coins, 100 coins, or something like that. But there's no cover, there's no lid. Okay. We can go to the next step. Oh, they're on this side. You know, if you like these rectangular boxes, you know, chop them up. You get a nice rectangular box. Whatever floats your boat. I like these bigger ones because, you know, you stack them up and pile them up. Tins. Now, tins are okay. My mother passed away, and she'd been saving her pennies in this old tin for several years. Let me take these off because I'm not handling coins. My sister sent this down after the funeral. She had found it, and well, I went through them, and it's really neat because nothing was newer than 2001. So I had a lot of, you know, BU 90s and stuff in there. Now the tins are handy. Your grandmother had them. She probably still has them if you still have a grandmother around. They close up. They keep the spiders out, which I really appreciate. But the problem with metal storage, you got coffee cans, for example, metal coffee cans. You've got metal-to-metal contact, and copper has a great electrical potential, especially when in contact with steel. You get some humidity in there, and you've got effectively a battery where the electrons will flow from the copper to the steel. And what you're going to have there is corrosion. So you have, I'm sure I have one here somewhere, got spots on it. And the green, I won't be able to find one right now, I'm sure. Yeah, just like the car at the shop. When you got metal-to-metal contact, you're promoting corrosion, especially with copper coins. But even your quarters, yeah, they're copper in there. They're going to corrode over time. I try to stay away from metal containers. Plastic is okay. There's nothing wrong with plastic. Coffee jars, they come in all different sizes. And if you need to store bulk stuff, this works great. Plastic is typically inert. Now, if you have soft plastic, you want to try to stay away from that and go with the stiff stuff, because the stiff doesn't have the softeners in there that will eventually screw up your coins. Long-term storage, change them every year or two. But get away from that soft as much as you can. Now, if you want to store in paper, yeah, you can always do that. Paper wrappers have been around for a long time. These flat wrappers, you can pick them up on eBay, 1,000 at a time. You can get them at the bank sometimes for free. And if you want to store some bulk, it's a great way to do it. Now, much before, I guess it's 1950, 52, the paper making process changed over to a more efficient modern method. So before, around 1950 or so, the paper tended to be more acidic. And what that's going to do is tone up your coins. Like you got those, the matte proofs and the Lincolns, they were initially packaged in a soft paper, but the paper was highly acidic. So finding a matte proof that's red is really tough because this paper toned all the coins. They look great. I mean, they got fantastic color. But if you're going to store in some kind of paper wrapper or paper tube, try to get that modern paper. Where's the next one here? There they are. Now, another item to do is go to tubes. There's coin tubes out. You got one right up here. No, they hold up just fine. Okay, you get the clear acrylic. You got, here you go, soft plastic. But these are so nice. I love these, but they're soft plastic. There you go. That's a nickel tube made by Numerous Products Incorporated out of Covine, California. And they're soft. You can see those will flex. When you have soft plastic, a lot of times you have plasticizers in there that will leach out over time. Now, long-term storage for coins in tubes, I like the clear. They're been around for a long time. Over time, they will crack. Here's a perfect example. And right up, if we can see it. We got a crack in the cap. See if I can see the side on this. There you go. You got a crack on the side here. Come on, focus on me here. Focus. It doesn't want to work when I want it to. There you go. You can see this crack right along the side. Over time, these clear acrylics will tend to just break down. It's the light. It's called photodegradation, and it screws up your plastic. So keep these in the dark, and they'll last a very long time. The caps, a lot of times you're going to find they are softer. This one's not as soft as some of them, but that'll hold up. But these are great. I like them. You can stack them. They don't roll over. They don't roll off the desk, but they're soft plastic. They do the job. What do you do? Everything's got a flaw. Nice to know, says Laura Day. Katie, where'd you go? You're back. Jeffrey says the plastic flips are soft too. Will that eventually harm the coins? I've been throwing them out. I'm sure I got one here on top. There's two kinds. You got, what if I have one here? I know I've got some in here. I picked up some a while back. There we go. There's a soft flip, right? BCW is the maker on these, and they're soft. So they're inexpensive. These are like, $4 or $5 for 100. And that's all well and good. I don't like this particular design because they got their logo squeezed into the corner. So, if I want to put a slip of paper in there, I've got to cut the corners. Well, heck with that. Then you have the stiffer flips. And they're kind of stiff. If you're used to using these, great. This is a different, it's a change in how you handle them. But the soft ones have softeners. These are vinyl, but they're plasticized to make them soft. These that I like now, the Guardhouse, they are unplasticized vinyl. They're made for long-term storage. What's going to happen with these, you're going to get this kind of a slime on the surface of your coin where it contacts the plastic. All right. If you want to get a long-term storage, these, oh, here we go. I got Klesh's piece. Acrylic is the way to go. Good, stiff, hard acrylic. But the better you get, the longer term, the price you get. These are 50 cents a piece. Those are 5 cents a piece. The better ones are, 8 cents a piece. So you just have to find a balance of, what do you want to spend to store these things? Just stick with it. But the cheaper you go, you'll have to change it eventually. The cardboard, I just don't want to bother with them anymore. Hey, they are cheap. The Mylar's inert. They hold your coins. They do well, but it's very little protection against, puncture or impact. It's just for, it keeps the dust off them and a little bit of abrasion resistance. These babies are, 8 times thicker, and you get something like that. I mean, it's like a foot of lead in between the world and your coin. And they're quite nice, but you get what you pay for. But I think the days of the cardboard flip are going. Now you see the difference here. You get the nice soft ones. You're not really saving any money if they're going to screw up your coins. These are stiff. Those are stiff. There's nothing wrong with them. It fits in, the pocket pages, fits in the 2x2 boxes that you get. But that's going to be your own determination. What works best for you is what's best. Crazy Mater says, how do you get the coins out of the hard plastic tubes when they have been in there so long that they're stuck? Okay, heat and cold. Copper, it's going to expand when you heat it. It's going to shrink when you chill it. Okay, and it's a lot more mass and something like that. This stuff, the acrylic, has a greater thermal expansion coefficient. So it'll heat up, and when it does, it's going to expand more than the coin. So put the whole darn thing in the freezer. Let it chill. Your penny's going to shrink. You take it out of the freezer, you put it in some warm water, that plastic tube is going to warm up before the pennies do. Right now, if you don't want to put in a plastic tube in the water, oh, where are they? I got piles of them. Oh, there you go. Stick it in a Ziploc bag, right? So you don't get water all over it. Squeeze out the air and stick that whole thing in the water. You're heating the plastic, and it'll be a little while before the copper warms up, so that's your best chance. And if that doesn't solve it, well, get the pliers out and start chipping away what you can, and just shake the heck out of it. But, well, make it up as you go if you have to. There is no one size fits all answer for what you got. A lot of these tubes have different plastics. Some have a blend, polystyrene, acrylic. Just see what works for you. You may have to melt a side, heat up a knife or something, and put an etch in there, and switch it, put an etch in there, melt it away, so you can break it up and chip it away at it easier. I've used a hairdryer to heat them, and they come right out. There you go. Yeah, but heat and cold is the answer. Let me get this out of here. Make some room. Okay, I get these sheets of, black cardboard. They look just like this, okay? They're long. They're 30 inches by 24 inches. Has a piece of sticker on it. They're Walmart, 1/4 inch thick, just like that. And they're foam core with paper on the outside. And it's pretty darn handy. You can make your own stuff. There we go. I put the pennies on there. I glue a strip on the side. The penny doesn't fall off. This is almost vertical at this point. And if you want to take a good photo of a coin, it's one way to go. I use these. Let me move that aside. I need like 6 tables. There's stuff everywhere. Okay. I can show off the coin. I got a black background. There's different colors, but these work. What is that? Oh, that's the sun. There you go. With the strips on the side and the measurements right, I can take this whole thing, put another one identical to it, right on top, and I can flip those if I just hold it firmly. And they don't go flying everywhere. And now I have the other side of the coin. Yeah, forget about that part I said about flying everywhere. Okay. I am butterfingered. But you can make your own. Cool. All right, stop touching them. Yeah, get in there and play. These, you need a cutter, a razor knife. You can get the fancy tool to hold the blade, but really it's just a blade. Don't cut yourself. Feel really bad. Some glue, some of this foam board. You can build all sorts of things. It can be helpful to you if it holds the coin in place, so you can take a photograph, so you can get a better look at it. Change the lighting, flip it over easy. Yeah, that's a coin spatula. I actually made a bunch more here. which I still have to, glue up. But these are much smaller, so I can handle, about a roll at a time. And what do you got? 5 inches wide, 7 inches across. I'm going to take off a 1/2 inch twice, and then put them on the edge. So inside the little, these little ribs is 5 by 5. I'll put another one on there, and it matches, and I can flip them right over. It's a little one. But what are you talking? $3 and you got 50 of these. How handy is it when you want to show a lot of coins off and don't want them flying everywhere? Unless you're trying to show that they're not flying everywhere. Yeah. Ken, how do you get the coins out of the... Oh, we answered that one. And don't cut yourself. Man. Razor blade with nothing. They're handy. Again, it's one of these little tools that are just multi-useful. Scissors work. If you want to get old-fashioned and take away the excitement. And then a pair of scissors. You open up your packages. You can trim stuff. A lot of these tools you will have around the house. Scissors, a knife, the toothpicks, cotton towels, for example. If you can't afford the cotton gloves, handle your coin with a cotton towel. You can get in there. You can pick them up. You're not getting your fingers all over. You can pick up that cotton, that coin with a towel. It'll save you some money. But just a cloth is going to give some protection to your coins when maybe you don't have another way to do it. Because these guys, they're $1 a pair. The latex, they're $6-7 for a box. It'll last you a while. But if you'd rather spend the money on coins, I fully understand. Spatula City. We have Spatula Depot around here. It's the biggest competition is Spatula City. Okay, and I think that's all the toys that oh, we have more. Okay, you get the boxes of pennies, rolls, what have you. Storage becomes the issue. And this is a shoebox. You get them at the dollar store. They're about $1, okay? If you leave them in the sunlight, they're going to break down in a year. But if you're going to stick it in a closet, you get a decent, lid that's going to hold up several of these. I put bags of sorted coins in here, so I can pick through them later. For $1, you can stack these babies up almost indefinitely. These I've been trying out, and I kind of like these. They're a little more expensive. It's a Sterlite container. All right, they got the little hooks that are going to hold that lid in place. You can close it up, put them in, lock it up. You can stack them. They're real handy, but they fit the 2x2 boxes, just like that, without sticking above the lid. So I can close it up. If you want to take these to coin shows, you can stack them up, put them on a hand truck, wheel everything in. They're presentable. You can wash them out. They're cleanable. Cardboard's great. I got no problem with cardboard, but over time, it's not going to last forever. Neither will these, but they'll probably hold up better than the cardboard. But they're waterproof. So you get that hose or sprayer inside the house, and because you're just spraying everything, this will help provide some protection. More fun with shaky hands and razor blade. Yes, it is. It's the excitement that adds life. I sort of one of those at Spatula Hitty. Okay, I think that's what I've got to talk about for equipment. I'm going to look around real quick. Oh, these are a neat thing. You got the pennies and you've gone through them. You got the little coin counters. There's a problem with these sometimes. Okay. Pull over, vodka. How many guesses on what that is? Okay. You count out the pennies. You can do it by hand. You can put up little stacks. You can, count them one by one. You can fill these guys and let it count for you. So if you're watching a movie, you can count out rolls of pennies. Give it a bounce. Because if they get stuck in there, there we go. Why are you doing this right now, huh? Why are you doing this right now? There. Go a little slower. Now, you put your pennies in, they'll count pretty close to 50. I suggest, do a few rolls and count them by hand to see how accurate you are. Because once you get to this little line, at the bottom of that line is the 50 cents. Right, so anything sticking above that is going to fall out. And we'll get to where we are. There we go. And they're just going to pop right out. And you can see this. Well, this is toughy. There you go. You get the pennies. There should be 50 in there. Now watch this. After, 1992, the profile on your cents changed. You got a little bit thinner. So if you have a lot of newer coins going into that coin counter, you can slip an extra, 1 or 2, probably an extra penny in there. So there is a problem with accuracy on these. I put 51 cents in tons of roll. 51 cents. You can take these babies back to Coinstar, and they're going to take 9 to 11%. I can use this and roll them a whole lot, pretty darn quick. It saves me the gas to get to the store to dump in the Coinstar machine. If I'm off by a penny, well, it's only 2%. It's still a whole lot cheaper than Coinstar. You can get these on eBay. They're 12 bucks or so, and they got all the different sizes. They're on the table. Penny, nickel, dime, quarter. Halves, you're on your own. But those are a handy thing. Just one of those tools you gather as you roll along. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna have to give away some stuff here. Where'd it go? No, here it is. So complete Lincoln Cent Encyclopedia is the trick today, and we got. Pull that up. Take a look. This is by Shane Anderson. It's a smaller book. There it is. Fairly recent. $15.95 was the original price on the cover. And we'll take a look in there. We've got, here's a picture of Victor Brenner. Here's a picture of a penny. Tells you, how to store, how to handle. Stories about the Lincoln cents, grading them. Look, there it is, the loop, right? Yeah. The loop design folds in on itself, protecting the lens from damage. That's what I'm seeing. It'll tell you. It's a good story. Now you get into most of the book is the various die varieties that you're going to experience coming across these Lincolns and what to look for. It's not quite the Chair Picker's Guide, but there's plenty of information in there. 1944, here's the D over S. It's a handy thing, and that's coming out. And we got to have some equipment because it's a show on equipment, so we're going to put it in the book. Okay, we're going to have a scale, not this one, that's mine. And we're going to have a loop, all the standard stuff that goes out as usual, because you guys need to have this stuff to find and do. If you're not finding and doing, what are you spending time on? Okay, and I'm going to add some cents in there, some coins, to give you something to look at and play with. Now, it's test time. This one's not so bad. We get 27 people watching. That's okay. I'm going to type go, and we're going to answer the question. There, I got go typed in. If I had, and this is the test, if I had a roll of pennies, a roll of nickels, a roll of dimes, and a roll of quarters, how many coins do I have? Go. First one to get this answer correctly is going to win a loop, a scale, the book, and some coins. And we ship those out. I think who won it last week? Was it Shay Hoffmaster? No, it was Bill J won last week. He got a bunch of stuff he's pretty happy with. Now let's give people a chance. How many coins do I have? A roll of pennies, a roll of nickels, a roll of dimes, and a roll of quarters. How many coins? And we'll wait for it to catch up. I'm probably about 20 minutes behind on seeing this. Waiting for the answer to come through. Let me add it up again. Yep, that's right. Still looking for the answer. Roll of pennies, and a roll of nickels, and a roll of dimes, and a roll of quarters. How many coins? And yeah, it'll keep it busy for a while. Well, Decone 710 joined us. It's a lot. And I see a right answer. I see Crazy Mater's Bailey. If any moderators want to check that, the answer is 180. A roll of pennies and a roll of dimes are 50 each. That's 100 coins. A roll of nickels and a roll of quarters, 40 each. Total is 180 coins. I see Crazy Mater Bailey. You're going to get up here beside my head. Let me see if we can see that. And you've got my email address. I probably have your shipping address, but don't make me hot. Send your shipping information to kpv@live.com. Make sure the spelling is right on that, because sometimes people send messages to somebody named Kimberly, and she never responds. Damn her. Okay, but we got a few good answers there. Crazy's confirmed. Alrighty, yeah. 1750 is a good number. It's how many, how much face value, but how many coins is 180. Okay, tomorrow we're having. Where's my notes here? I've got a bunch of notes covered up with stuff. Tomorrow is the big show at 3 o'clock. You want to get in there and check it out. We're going to start off with a few things and hope for donations. And as the donations come in, we're going to put more coins into that, pretty much valued at what the donations work for. We had a prize last week of $100 in retail value, and Beth Coddington won that. She'll probably do a video on it shortly. She's received it. But get in there and check that out. It's going to be 3 o'clock Eastern time, same time as this show. And if they keep making donations, we'll keep adding to it. And we'll probably split it if it gets really, really big and have a couple of prize winners. But get in there and check that out. If you want to talk, my email's right here. Send pictures, chat, how you doing, that sort of thing. But down in the links below this video, you'll see the link to the Coin Up Facebook group. I'm usually hanging around in there. So come on over and say hi. Put your pennies up. We'll talk, see what goes on. If a penny weighs 2.7, is that okay? That's for zinc 1995. 2.5 is typical for zinc. 2.7 is in excess of the tolerance. So you got something going on with that coin. Is there stuff on it? Is debris on there? If you have die chips, that's not going to change the weight of the planchet. So if the planchet is thicker than it should be, that could adjust the weight. Otherwise, you may have something going on with that. You should list the books you've given away so those who don't win can go get a copy. Oh, we've done the red book. Alrighty. We've done the red book, a staple. You'll find the prices to be inflated on this, but the information, good, never goes out of style. We've done the catalog and encyclopedia of U.S. coins, real handy. This will probably go. If you'd rather have this instead of the complete Lincoln set encyclopedia, Crazy Maters, let me know. I'll give that away next week. Let me know. We'll give you a choice which one you want. The complete Lincoln Center Encyclopedia. Let me see if I can see what you're seeing. There you go. You can get the complete Lincoln Center Encyclopedia, or you can get the catalog and encyclopedia of U.S. coins. Both are pretty handy. This is a big fat one, so it'll look great on your shelf. Let me know. You get the choice. Whatever you like. You want to specialize in Lincolns, or do you want to generalize with everything? So if you want a choice, we can do that. And what else have we given away? We had the errors. Oh, you've got the price guide for mint errors, which is probably one of the best books out there. This is written by Alan Herbert, and it gets well into the minting process and what sorts of errors are the result of the minting process. Okay, I mean, you can hit a coin with a hammer. It's going to be a different effect you'll find in your coin than a coin that's been double struck, which is different from a double die. Okay, and I've got another one of these that I'm doing on the coin trivia contest, which I still need to make a video on because that's kind of falling on the back burner. It needs to come back up. I think the tolerance in the hundreds. Yeah, it's pretty tight tolerances. 2.6 would be about as big as it should be, but he's got 2.7. 2.7 is kind of high. Check the accuracy on your scale with some known examples, by the way. But there's other books we've given away, and we'll keep on giving away more because there's no end to it. My book guy comes through, so I just get more. And let's see, I got a black book back here. Some other coin books. They're handy, man. Just start gathering. Read the book. When you're done reading it, give it away. It don't cost nothing to give something away. I have 2 books, a blue one and a red one. I need to find cherry pickers. On occasion, you can find the cherry pickers guide. This one is 4th volume. Volume 2, I have the 4th edition. Volume 1, I've got 6th, which I don't know where the hell it is right now. Oh, there it is. And here's an older version of the 3rd edition before they split it into 2 volumes. Sometimes you can find these. Keep an eye out. Check Amazon. Check your book groups like Abe Books. And when I get done, I will pass it on. Outstanding. Crazy Maters, take your choice. If you want the encyclopedia, let me get back here. If you want the Lincoln Cent Encyclopedia or the catalog and encyclopedia of U.S. coins, let me know which one you want, and we'll get that right out to you. I'll be shipping out stuff on Monday. The U.S. coins, the big one. Okay, no problem. We'll have this one for next week. And we'll give you a choice again. I'll set these up here. There. And that's the class. So now we're on the, just talking. Copper cent tolerance is 0.13 grams. For zinc, it's 0.1. That makes good sense. The copper cents are larger, so the same percentage would be a larger number. Okay, guys, I want to thank you for coming. If you'd like to get entries into tomorrow's giveaway, it's right up here. Just make a note. If you're supporting the channel, that's like money I take and buy books with. Or if you want it in the giveaway for tomorrow, then I'll apply it, and we'll start off with a bang. That was off Lincoln Cent Resource. Lincoln Cent Resource is a pretty accurate site. You can pretty much take what anything they say is gospel. They got their heads on right. Me, I just kind of make it up as I go along. I need a cherry picker's guide. I'm trying to find some. What is it? If you look in the links below, there's a link for the video directory. There's some tabs on the bottom, and one of them is for blogs. And if you go to Ken Potter's blog, he does have some books and may have a cherry picker's guide available. The new book from Rip to Moscow on $50. It's pre-order now, though. Please get it, man. Some of these books are. Snow is $200. There's two. There's 2 volumes, but some of these books. What do we got here? This is the authoritative guide on 2 cents. Okay, there are 7 years these things are produced, 9 years, and you get a book this big on the die varieties. But some of these get to be pretty darn pricey. This is by Flynn. You find Kevin Flynn has a number of these books out. Oh, this one is this is a matte proofs. What do you got? 6, 7 years for matte proofs. And this will tell you the diagnostics, so you can confirm that your coin is in fact a matte proof. There are some, 1910s. It's got the right finish. It's got everything. It's right. It's centered. The rim is flat, but it's not a matte proof because it doesn't have a little caret beside the M and unum. Some of these are just invaluable. If you get into more expensive coins where you need to make sure that it is in fact a genuine coin, this is the kind of thing to get. What is the next one? What do we got here? Oh, the authoritative reference on 3-cent nickels, right? Now I found one not too long ago. It was in 1865 or 1867 with a double die, and I was able to confirm that it was what I said it was using a book like this. And you can go through. Oh, look. Yeah, we'll put that in next week's giveaway. We'll probably put that in tomorrow's giveaway. Yeah. You can go through this book and confirm your suspicions of what you find, but you can fill up a monstrous shelf. Back in the day, the only thing we had was greens. Oh, so keep that up. If you can find one of these for less than $100, grab it, because this is probably this is what started a lot of it. This is Walter Breen. Now, some people have problems with Walter Breen because he was like a pedophile or something. He got in trouble for that, but he's gone now. But this guy, back in the day, there was one copy at the local library, and you could look up your coins, and it was real handy there. I can put it under the scope. We'll have a look. Let me make some room. But geez, you had to check it out. You had it for a couple of weeks. You had to take it back. So you got to pay a fine. It's like 10 cents a day. It was a fortune. There we go. And that was it. That was the only copy. Let's see if we can get another look at this here. Zoom in. The Breen, he has every coin has a number, right? 1862 Indian cent has a number. 1863 has a number. But if, you get into 1862 Indian cent double die with a cut and reverse, he's going to catalog that. You've got photos in here. What do you got here? Okay. 1883 double die, and this is probably a seated Liberty. What part are we on? Federal minor coinages. Okay, shield cents. Yeah, that's a shield cent. 1883, double date. This is the Breen number on that, 2523. That'd be the equivalent of, WDDO number 1, Wexler's double die. This is his catalog listing. He's got at least 2 varieties of proofs. Others for business strikes. Rarest has date first entered far too low. Now, back in the day, they would actually punch the dates into the die by hand. So you'd have 2 parts. You'd have the 18, and then you'd have, the 83. So they didn't always line them up just right. Sometimes they repunch the dates, like a repunch mitten mark, because they punched the date into the die by hand. Kind of a neat thing. Now you have double dies. Back then it was RPDs. Okay. Late states may be mistaken for next. But this was all we had to work with back, 30 years ago. And it was brand new. Now it's 30 years old. Here's the Indians. And this goes from, the colonial issues. You're getting back into, Octories, Connecticut. What do you got here? Non-local imports. Jacob's Theater tokens. I've never heard of that until just now. But this goes back into, the Pine Tree shillings. Matchins Mill, Connecticut coppers, all the old stuff. And this goes up into, all the way into, commemorative silver, gold, all that stuff. It's a monstrous tome. It's an impressive body of work. Around 1986, it was printed, so there's nothing new after that. He died shortly thereafter. But that's a peach. If you can get a copy of Breen's, grab it, because it's a collector's piece, just by its very existence. And it looks like that. You get St. Gaudens on the cover. Yeah, it's a pretty book. I'll leave it right there. Now, where are we? 2.7 cents, maybe overplated zinc said. That could very well be. Is it an error? I don't know. I haven't seen it. I got 4 text messages about this coin. I can't make a determination. Goodwill sells coins. Check out Goodwill. Smash the door open at 3 a.m. I better not say that. I'll get in trouble. Okay, guys. I'm going to make some lunch. Clean up all this mess because, damn. And we'll do it again. Be back here tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and let's put together a big package for someone. All right, instead of just giving them, the 5 wheats that we found, we're gonna set somebody up with some stuff and go from there. Send me a picture. There's the email. We'll take it from there. Guys, thanks for coming in. It's been a good show. We'll do it again next week. See you later. And don't forget to like and subscribe.